Brownfield Redevelopment Authority meeting to order of January 14th, 2025. And I'm sure the roll's been taken, right, Ed?
Yep, yep.
Okay, so then approval, we need a motion to approve the agenda. At this time, the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority can act to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
There you go. And seconded, there you go. Thank you very much. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Move down to public comments on agenda items. This time the chair will ask if there's any public comments on agenda items. Any public comment on agenda items? None and none. Correspondence. This time the chair will ask if there's any correspondence been received to be included in the record.
No.
No correspondence to be included. Public hearing, we have none. Approval of minutes. At this time, the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority can act to approve the November 12th, 2024 meeting minutes.
So move.
Moved, seconded.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, financial reports. We'll get down to approval of invoices. And Brownfield Administrator Ed Bradford will review the summary of paid invoices.
Yeah, so since we've last met, we've paid 3 invoices. The biggest one to the state of Michigan is the 3 mil portion of the SET that the state gets when we do our brownfield distributions. So these were taxes that we captured, we were holding on to, and then when we file our annual report, the state bills us and we remit the taxes to them. The other 2 were for Fishback and had to do with the 91 Arthur Street project, so just the brownfield plan and the Act 381 work plan. We've already received money from the developer for those, so we're just paying them out as they do the work.
All right.
And then on the balance sheet, you can see we've got about $134,000 in cash, but I've got $94,000 and change that will be distributed once we get through the tax season.
Can we get that up, Ed, or do we have copies?
I emailed you the agenda, but I can put it up. I can put it up on the screen if you'd like.
Yeah, I didn't print.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Can you guys see that?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the agenda. There you go.
Yep. So there are the invoices.
Yeah, your invoice.
And
Now, did
then-
you want a motion on those special, or do you want to wait till you're finished?
It's up to you, Chair. We can do them both at the same time or do them separately if you want. I think we've done them at the same time unless there's a
Okay.
questions or
All right,
anything.
I just wanted to say, okay. We'll
So
wait till-
anyway, getting back to the balance sheet, those taxes get paid out when I do the annual distributions. And then we do have a little bit of fund balance, which is just the accumulated management fees that we've had. Or not management fees, administrative fees. And also, I think there's a little bit of money sitting here for brownfield plans that hasn't been billed out yet. One of the things I will say, we typically budget a management fee from the Brownfield Authority back to the city's general fund for my time, and I haven't charged that ever, but I think this year we probably will. We have a line item for it in the budget. Just a way to get a little bit of money back to the general fund for my time, which seems to be more and more that we're getting a lot more brownfield plans.
Sure.
So, but that, you'll see that coming through towards the end of the fiscal year. And then if you look at the, on the next page, you've got the revenue and expenditure report. And you can see we had about 22,000 in revenue and about 22,000 in expenditures, so basically a break even. The reimbursement line item there, 15,000, which showed 0 budget, it really I think should have been charged to charge for services. I've got to check that and probably do a journal entry to get it up into the right line item. But that's, basically revenue that we get in from the people that are doing brownfield plans, the fees that we charge. So that's what that is. And then on the expenditure side, the professional and consulting services, those are Fishback fees. There's a membership to the Michigan Economic Developer Association, which I'm a member of. Then we had some printing and publishing for public hearings in the paper. So any questions on the invoices or financial reports?
I don't see any questions, gentlemen, ladies? No, if you want a motion to approve your financial report, if we could get a motion to approve the financial report.
I'll make a motion.
Motion and seconded.
Second.
Second to approve the financial report. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Move then to old business. We have none, right?
Right.
Then new business, we have under A, election of officers. And according to the bylaws of the City of Manistee Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, their annual meeting, election of officers is held at their annual meeting in January. This time, the meeting will be turned over to Mr. Ed Bradford, who will ask for nominations.
Okay, do we
Ed,
have
you're in charge.
any nominations for chair?
I nominate Yoder.
As do I.
Okay, are there any other nominations? If not, all in favor of Yoder being chair, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I will turn the meeting back over to you, Chair, and we need a vice chair and a secretary treasurer.
Okay, well, let's start with the vice chair. All right, thank you for the chairman's position, and now we will need a vice chair. So could I have a nomination for vice chair?
Who would like it of you two?
Would you like to be vice chair?
Would you like to be
I nominate
Shelley? Yeah, nominate Shelley for vice chair, that was it. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? 3 times, no other nominations, we verify Shelley Memberto as vice chair of the planning commission, of the Brownfield. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you want to take a vote? There's no other nominations, but you still.
Okay, all in
Yeah.
favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
There we
All
go.
opposed? And we're unanimously voting her in.
And then we need a secretary
And
treasurer.
then we need a secretary treasurer.
what does the secretary
Nothing,
do?
nothing.
Well, I send around the draft minutes,
Yeah,
and if they have a problem with them, because I'm the recording secretary, so they don't really do much. Just kind
what
of,
the secretary does is it's a position.
yeah.
Secretary treasurer is Mr. Bradford. You're a position of a secretary treasurer on a Brownfield. So anything that has to be done, you nominate Mr. Bradford to take care of it. And he does the work. You just take the title. That's basically what we are.
Right now, Megan is the secretary treasurer.
Yeah, Megan is secretary, unless you want to leave Megan secretary treasurer.
Why not?
It's up to the board.
I nominate Megan.
Okay, well, now, yeah, that'll teach her.
Hey, Megan.
Yeah, that'll teach her not to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
She's someplace sunny. She's someplace
Yeah,
sunny right
okay,
now.
any other nominations for secretary treasurer? Any other nominations? Okay, we have Megan Kemford, secretary treasurer. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? And we have her as the secretary treasurer. Okay, and then we move along then to the bylaw review. At this time, Brownfield Authority could recommend changes to their bylaws after review. If there's any changes that would like to be made,
Any.
would be the time. If, I don't know, does anybody know what the bylaws are?
We got it
I
right.
read through them, but
Yeah,
did,
there you go.
Ed, did you have any recommendations? I didn't see any changes.
No, I think the last time we changed them, that we've got it annotated.
I think we went from the number of people on a
Do you have
board.
them printed out?
What's that?
Do you have them printed out?
No, I do not.
I've got them up on the screen.
Okay.
No, I
The
don't.
last time was, we said regular meetings of the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority shall be held each calendar quarter of the year in no event where there shall be less than 4 meetings. We deleted that in section 2.7 meetings. That was done back in 17. So we haven't had any changes to the bylaws since 17, and I don't see anything that I think needs to be changed. I think they work fine the way they are.
Times or days or anything like that, we don't have to worry about changing or keep just the way it is and go by ear as needed, right?
Ed, what were you saying about the number of meetings per year?
So we used to have them prescribed, I think at one point monthly and then quarterly, and
Yeah.
here's the section now, it says, may be called by or at the request of the chairperson of the board or any 2 directors. The meeting of the board shall be public and appropriate notice of such meeting shall be provided to the public. Board shall hold an annual meeting in January each year, at which time officers of the board shall be elected as provided in there. So basically, this says we only require one meeting a year, which is this meeting. We don't have to meet, but if there is need for a meeting, and typically I call them because I'm the administrator, so. But, you know, if we wanted to change that, we can, but I think what we've kind of landed on is we're gonna keep that regular meeting date.
Right.
Try to have them, even if
Right.
it's just for an update, you know, maybe we'll skip one in a while, but, it felt like we weren't meeting enough.
Yeah.
And there was
Yeah.
too much disconnect, so I think it's better the way we've got it, and then everybody just keeps it on their calendar, even if it's a short meeting.
And even if, I know we talked about last, or maybe a year or two ago, about throwing a little training about, you know,
Yeah.
at one of the meetings that we don't have.
We can do that. We did have some training, I think it was about 6 months ago, maybe, with Fishbeck went through, Roman Wilson did it. But we
Okay,
can find
yeah.
another topic to do some training if that'd be useful and get that
I
on the
mean, just
schedule.
something, like I say, to open our eyes with like the bylaws and what they are and what we're supposed to do and, you know,
Yeah,
stuff like,
yeah, we
okay.
can absolutely do that. I'll try to work something in at a future meeting.
Yeah, all right.
Helps having more activity too.
Yeah.
Yeah, something, okay, then, nothing under the bylaws, leave it as is. We'll move then to staff reports. Staff will update the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority on the status of the current projects and any other information the commissioners should be aware of. And then we have the Gateway Project update. Is that what you're up to?
Primarily, so I've got Kirk from Fishback on the call here as well, but the Gateway project has started to move. There's activity. They've submitted a bunch of materials to help us prepare the Brownfield plan, so that's moving ahead. Kirk, you want to talk a little bit about what you've got and what you're working on right now in regards to that Brownfield plan?
Yeah, I'd be happy to, Ed. So, like Ed mentioned, we finally got some information from T for cost, site plan. Looks like we're having conversations with MEDC as well about how the work plans are going to be put together. And at this point, Fishbeck is well into preparing the plans. We have everything we need to at this point. One of the biggest sticking points I think we're going to have to hurdle over is the DDA side, but I believe they called a special meeting on later this week, right? Or is it
No,
next?
I think it's like next week or maybe even the week after.
Okay.
But yeah, there is
Yeah. So
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that's one hurdle we have to accomplish because obviously the DDA is going to have to agree to allow the pass through of the TIF to go to the developer and to the city for some public infrastructure costs. And is that going to be a full pass through or a partial? So once we get that answer, we'll be able to finalize the plans and then start kind of going through bringing it to this board for conversation. So all signs are a go. Last I heard was they wanted to start later this year. And we hope that's the case. We'll see.
And to Kirk's point, the DDA issue specifically, they have to pass a resolution saying we're going to give up our tax increment capture that we would otherwise get from this project. So we're going to have a meeting, T and I, with the DDA coming up in like another week or so to kind of talk through that. I mean, there's a lot of new members on the DDA board, and I think a lot of them aren't real clear on what tax increment financing is, even though that's what they use themselves. But when you layer the Brownfield on top of it, it gets complex. So we're going to talk through that. I have a draft resolution that they're not going to take action on, but at least they can see what it looks like. It's the same one we've used on all of our projects that are in a DDA. And then at their regular meeting in February, hopefully they will adopt it. And so then this plan can move ahead because Little River Holdings has been pretty adamant that they need 100% of that to make the numbers work. So that's going to be the conversation over the next 2 to 3 weeks with the DDA, or a month with the DDA to make sure they're on board with that. But I think it's real promising that we finally gotten the materials. Kirk's working on it. It's a complex project. It's a 2-phase project. There's multiple TIF tables because they're going to be doing the project in kind of 2 parts. South side of the road first, north side after that. There'll be some overlap. But it's really exciting to see some progress, and I hope that momentum can continue and keep going.
So when would
Yeah.
it be where you could actually see something, or people could see some improvement down there? Another couple, 3 months, or?
Yeah, no, they probably won't break ground until July, maybe. That's what they're saying at the earliest, so.
So it's still just a lot of talking.
Well, no, I think the logjam is broken free. He wouldn't be going, I mean, it's not gonna guarantee it's gonna happen, there's still things, but the fact that we've got all the materials now for the Brownfield plan mean they've gone through all their due diligence. They've probably got their financing lined up as best as we can tell.
Yeah.
And, they're just kind of getting the stuff in because you gotta do stuff in order, right? They gotta get the Brownfield plan approved, they got stuff with MEDC, and at the same time, on a parallel path, the grant loan projects are still going on, and I think they're on, work plan 5 or 6 now?
Yes. Yeah.
So at some point, that'll all get ready, and then they'll be able to start excavating and removing contaminated soils and stuff, but that's, it's all a
Yeah.
stepwise
Well, yeah.
process, so.
Yeah, for sure, it is.
It's kind of moving ahead. Is there anything you saw in the materials so far that they submitted that the board should be aware of, Kirk, that is maybe different than what we've talked about over the last 18 months?
I don't think so. I think the only difference is they've made some changes to the condo hotel building with, moving the pool, just more kind of, I would consider those architectural changes. But the site plans in general have pretty much been similar. Ed and I just met with city engineers to start getting the city costs. So I don't see anything drastically different. It's a project that has a heavy lift of costs. The environmental is going to be pretty significant, but nothing, I don't think, Ed, there's anything really that different from what they've been saying. And to kind of reiterate Ed's point is we've been asking for these materials for quite a while now. And now that we're getting them, it really shows to me that they're positively treading water. So
Yeah. And
all signs are go.
Yeah, and the nice thing is their consultant, TF Taxiatis, is a Brownfield veteran. So the materials that he sent to Kirk are in good shape because he knows how you need the materials. So it makes their job quite a bit easier, I think.
Okay, all right.
And, we still have to work on the development agreement, and like I said, I'm gonna do the draft resolution. It's interesting, Kirk mentioned they're moving the pool. Used to be down on the ground floor. Well, that means you gotta excavate deeper, and it requires more environmental stuff. And so when they looked at it all, they said, yeah, we're gonna try to save some money there, and we'll put it up on the top.
Raise it up,
So,
yeah.
just little things like that, there's lots of moving pieces and things,
yeah.
but, yeah, I think it's coming together pretty well.
Good.
The only other thing I have, the project down here, where the old, Army surplus, where that old building is.
Ringo's?
Yeah, Ringo's. I think they're getting close to working through the demo for that through the land bank grant. I had a meeting today and they said there's a little bit more environmental contamination there than they thought.
Oh, sure.
So there'll have to probably be some vapor barriers. You haven't seen this yet, Kirk, but I think shortly there'll be some more stuff coming through for, potential brownfield for that as well. But the developer still doesn't have his site plans and stuff figured out.
This red building down here on First Street, on the corner of First Street and, what would that,
Isn't it Cedar? Cedar Street runs right through it, I think.
Cedar? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah.
big red building?
Yeah, they're gonna,
On the corner.
there's a,
Yeah.
the developer would like to do some housing there of some sort, but he hasn't worked that all out yet. But they're, like I say, first steps first, they had to do the environmental work, which they just got
Yeah, I
done.
heard
And they're gonna
rumor it was supposed to
demo.
be coming down,
Yeah, I don't know when exactly it'll come down, but I'm assuming before summer gets here.
Oh, it's that big red, it's not a garage. It's a large building, I think.
Big
They use it for storage, I think they did, or.
I have a
Ed?
couple of questions to
Yeah.
Ed about if we can go back to the Gateway project.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we can, yeah.
First question is, are both phases going to be included in the Brownfield plan?
Yeah, so, it's gonna be one plan, 2 phases, right, Kirk?
Yeah,
Yes.
for sale.
Yeah, and the MEDC, that's really for the MEDC purposes, because we didn't want to have to do 2 plans, but the MEDC needs to see that so they can arrange whatever financing that they're gonna do. Because, we've had extensive conversations with both Little River Holdings and MEDC regarding that. So that's how it's gonna work. And that means multiple TIF tables too, right, for each half of the project? You're not doing them all as one, correct?
TBD. There will be one summary one, Ed. The question is
Yeah.
in the Brownfield plan, if we do separate, we'll have to see how confusing it gets.
Yeah, there's gonna be a
honest.
lot of numbers that will get confusing, but yeah, that's the
Yeah.
intent, is to have 2 phases.
The other question I had is how is this project coordinated with the River Street what's it called, street
The
plan?
streetscape, that is an excellent question.
Streetscape,
So-
what is that plan?
It's just been kind of, it's like a sailboat in the water. When the wind dies, you kind of drift one way and then it drifts back to another. It's an expensive project. There's way more that the DDA would like to do that they can't fund. So the latest update on that is, they're gonna focus on the west end of River Street first, from Oak Street to where Water Street hits, First Street. So that kind of triangle area there down at the west end.
Yeah.
And we're in the process of writing a RAP, Revitalization and Placemaking Grant. I don't know exactly how much it's gonna be for, but it's a 50-50 match, and the DDA will hopefully match all of that in cash, so there'll be no debt at this point
Right.
to do that section. The Gateway project is gonna do their own thing. It's gonna be kind of compatible with what the DDA's vision is to the greatest extent possible, but since they don't have designs or plans yet, it'll, might be a little bit off, but it'll still be nice. And then that middle section, they're gonna have to fill in and as a phase 2 with the streetscape is what it's looking like. And they kind of just got to that conclusion relatively recently. They've been throwing out a lot of different things, a lot of different ideas, but there's been nothing concrete and tangible. But I think now there's a little better path forward. So that's how that's gonna work out.
Is there a plan that we can see?
For the streetscape?
Yeah,
I think when they get that grant done, they'll have some plans in there for that. The DDA's been working on stuff, but I think that they'll actually have a conceptual plan for that area when that grant is done. So that's what it's looking like now. It's gone in a lot of different directions, and this is just the latest update. If they don't get the grant, I think the DDA still has an interest of doing that as phase 1 and just having it scaled back with what they can afford. I don't know what exactly that would be, maybe bump outs or something. Well, there's a lot of things down there, but we'll see what it looks like once the final plans are done. So that's kind of how it's gonna fit together.
Alrighty, thank you. Any other questions, concerns?
I don't. Kurt, you got anything?
You got anything, Kurt?
I don't think so. I think the only other update I would have is for 91 Arthur. It looks like MEDC is moving forward, and I would imagine that they'll start moving on that for approvals, I would say within the next month. So looks like things are moving
at the
forward.
MEDC level?
Correct,
Yeah.
yep.
No, 91 Arthur is the restaurant by the big boat?
Yeah, the Lakeside Social, or
Lakeside.
whatever they're gonna call it. Yeah.
Okay, or
I don't
I
think
don't
it's
know
still
what they're-
called that anymore. Maybe it is. That's what they were kind of
I
referring
don't
to.
know.
I think,
Okay,
so.
all right. Thank you. Okay, moving
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Moving ahead then to next meeting dates. Tuesday, February 11th, 4 o'clock, as of right
That's our
now.
regular meeting. There may
Yeah.
not be much, probably just more gateway updates, so we'll probably still have it. It could be a pretty short meeting though, depending on kind of what happens, so.
I mean, you have all of our communication if we cancel. All you gotta do
Yep.
is email and say, hey,
Yep.
it's not there,
I
so.
will be out of the city on that day.
You're gonna be out of town?
There you go. All
Yeah,
right.
we gotta make sure we have, a quorum too, so, but if there's nothing and there really isn't anything and any more updates, then we'll just cancel it and have it in
Yes.
March, but,
Sure.
there might be. We'll see how things go.
Megan may be back by then, you think?
She could've come back and gone again, you never know.
She'll be back, yeah, that's right. Okay, all right, members' discussion.
just
This-
a question to
Uh-oh.
the meeting plan. Are we looking at blocking out second Tuesday every month?
Yep, the second Tuesday of the month, 4 PM, we should.
Yeah.
Okay,
I can send you guys all meeting invites for that if you want. I think I have, but I can send them again.
yeah.
And you can just respond
yeah.
to them and reply, so.
Yeah, good to have that.
Okay, you all set?
Yep,
Second Tuesday at 4 o'clock. All right, members, discussion, Shelley, we'll start with you. You have any problems?
I have none.
Yeah, well, there you go. How about you, sir?
No problems,
No
no,
problems?
no.
Young man, nothing. Well, I ain't gonna start trouble then. I got no problem. Okay, under that case, we'll, public comments on agenda items. There are none. I would take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
And seconded, and all in favor signify by saying aye, aye,
Aye.
all opposed, and see you all next month.